Hi, I'm Stephen Ham from Archery Supplies. This is the PSE Mach 30 new for 2024 from PSE. It looks very similar to the PSE carbon bows of the past. So PSE have had carbon bows for a number of years in various designs. What makes PSE carbon bows different to the other carbon bows on the market is their design. This is foam core covered with carbon, makes it lighter. Okay? So with the other carbon bows on the market, Hoyt uses an aluminium frame wrapped in carbon, Elite use straight carbon, and Bowtech I think is carbon. Okay, so this is lighter. So for hunters who are walking around the scrub, who want a light setup, this is the lightest of all the bows. Okay, so it's really well considered by bow hunters to be the pick of bow hunting bows. And I'm not saying that because I sell this bow versus other bows. I think it's purely on weight. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Now, they wouldn't buy the bow if it was just on weight. Okay, the draw cycle, these cams have been made by PSE for what I think is almost 6 years unchanged. And they haven't changed the design because it's a big round circle, which means it's going to be smooth to draw back. Okay, it's a rotating cam system, so you can adjust the draw length at half-inch increments from 24.5 to 30 inches. So it's really, really nice to adjust. Very simple, 2 screws. You need torque wrenches there and there. You don't need a bow press. You just rotate it. You can just adjust the valley let off by moving this forward or back. Simple. PSE haven't changed that design for years and years. What they did change was the ability to tune this cam. In the older models, you used to have to pull the axles out and move the shims left and right, like you do on a Hoyt, okay, or like you do on a Matthews. What PSE did, you still need to use a bow press, but you don't need to drop this axle out. They changed the axle design from being a rod to being this pivot system that bolts in. So this is a bolt that bolts in from this side and a bolt on that side. As a result, the shaft in the middle is thicker, and they've got these 2 little things, little wedges that clip in and clip out. What you need to do is you need to make whatever this adds up to, there's a little number there, you need these numbers to add up to be the same when you change the shims from left to right, okay, for bow tuning. Simple, like it takes seconds to tune this bow. It's so good. This is a yoke system. PSE's had various yoke systems, free floating yoke systems to this yoke system. Look, which one's the best is up to debate, and I'm not going to say this is better than a free floating yoke system because there's pros and cons on both yoke systems, right? So with a yoke system, it pulls evenly, so that's the basis for it. That's why PSE do this. Look, and you can change from this yoke system to free floating yoke system if you like. Okay, it's simple to do. So, bit about this bow. What's different? What's changed versus the other PSE's carbon bows before? PSE have had roller slides in the past. They've had different types of systems here. It's now a solid rod, solid bit of aluminium, with rollers. This is good because it doesn't move backwards and forwards. PSE have had this before, but this is kind of cool. The 2-piece quiver bolts onto here. It makes it really, really light that you can't even notice you've got a 2-piece quiver on this bow. You can't notice it. It's a very good system. The two-piece quiver bolts into here, and it's a triangle on there. It's a nice system. There's one on the bottom also. The front stabilizer mount, back stabilizer mount. String stop. Look, it's all pretty standard. Metal limb pockets. What's there to know? It looks, I'm going to say it looks like the old PSE carbons. And hasn't changed much. Look, this has changed. The old carbons were a good bow. Like, if you can pick up the old carbon PSEs, they're a good thing. They're around. You can turn the bow down 10 turns, which means you get about 10 pounds off it. 6-inch brace height, so it's going to be a little bit twitchy when you're aiming. That's what I think. 30 inches, axle to axle, 80% let off. I think the speed was 336, 338, which wasn't too bad, but it's a 6-inch brace height. You don't get anything for nothing. So if you're talking higher speed, you're talking more aggressive draw, shorter brace heights, bigger brace heights, more easier aiming, but then it's going to be slower. So you get nothing for nothing. So this will be a very popular hunting setup. 6-inch brace height. 3D archers, target archers will prefer a bigger brace height. So how does this rate against the other carbon bows? That's the question, is this better and all that sort of stuff. So before doing this video, I checked out the prices of what this bow sells for in Australia and in America. In America, it sells for around $1,800, which happened to be the same price as the Elite carbon bow and the Bowtech carbon bow, and it was a little bit cheaper than the Hoyt carbon bow. In Australia, so this was $1,800 in America. In Australia, this bow sells for $2,500, which was about the same price as the Elite carbon bow, a little bit cheaper than the Bowtech carbon bow, and the Hoyt's a bit of a weird one because I think the Hoyt's cheaper in Australia because I think the Hoyt dealers here don't make the same margins that the Hoyt dealers make in the US. So I think in Australia there's a bit of a pricing war when it comes to Hoyt. So, and Matthews. Matthews on some lines, the Matthews target lines are really cheap here compared to the US, but I think the Hoyt carbon bows are really cheap here compared to the US. So I think you can buy them in Australia for hundreds of dollars less than they are in America and ship them into America significantly cheaper. This would be similar in price. Okay, so all right, so if you're doing the price conversion of Australian dollars to American dollars, it's now 70 cents, so you times by 0.7. To reduce it, you take 10% GST off the price. To ship a bow to the US costs between $100 and $200, depending who you use and the method in which you use to ship it. But that's my experience of various freight companies that I use. So let's try it out. And these limbs are basically what PSE always use. The limb locking system's what PSE always use. There's no limb locking system here. But look, the grip, look, I haven't got the old PSE carbon bows to compare. The grip feels narrower than the old carbon bows. So with my experience with the old PSE carbon bows versus the aluminium riser bows from PSE, the aluminium carbon riser bows were always a thinner grip than the carbon bows. The carbon bows were always wider. So I kind of was like, well, do I prefer the metal versus the alloy? Metal versus the carbon. Now, one of the advantages of carbon is it doesn't get hot and cold. It's a neutral temperature. So if it's a hot day and you pick up a metal riser, it'll literally burn you. If it's a cold day, the metal will absorb the coldness and be really cold to touch. Carbon will be just a neutral. There'll be no temperature associated with it. So let's try this out. This is a 60-pound bow. Now, I used to shoot EC cams on all my target bows. It's the smoothest of the PSE cams. So it builds, and I feel like it's getting into the valley now. Oh, it just dumps in. I'm going to take the shot. Oh, it feels fast. That was... Right, so I just did a review on a Bowtech Justice, 7-inch brace height versus 6. I can feel the extra inch of pulling on this bow. I can feel it. I'm doing more work. It's 1 inch more work, right? Shorter brace height, I can feel the extra speed in this versus the Justice. You could just, there's no vibration at all. The bow just balances in your hand, like, look at that, it tips forward a little bit, which is ideal. Because when you shoot, your pressure point's here. So when you hold your grip, I'll do this, when your knuckles are at 45, you're actually pressing about that point there. So when you shoot, you're basically pushing out that way. So if the bow's tilting that way, it balances it out. So I think when I shoot this, it'll be pretty much dead in my hand. I really like the draw cycle. That's an impressive little bow. So I want to just talk a little bit about it. 30 inches versus 33 inches. The peep sight's going to be a little bit further away from your eye. Okay, that's about it. So hunters don't mind that. They like more compact for walking around the scrub and just getting in the bush. So 30 inches is the most common for hunting. The draw length, this is set on 29, it's on C, each letter is half an inch. So A being the longest, making your module bigger makes the draw length bigger. The strings on this are made by a computer. They're very, very good. You won't get any peep sight irritation. The roller here is served, so you shouldn't get any wear here. They're pretty good. I haven't had any issues with PSE strings. Let's go back to 18 metres and see how well I shoot. It should be interesting to see if I get any of the twitchy stuff, if I can see my sight pin moving. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've shot all the other PSE carbon bows in the past. This grip is definitely better. It's definitely narrower and it feels really comfortable in my hand. And when I'm shooting this bow, I do notice I get more movement with this bow than heavier bows. So a heavier bow, you generally get less movement because the bow's a little bit more stable in your hand if you've got the strength to hold it up, okay? So, however, depends on what you want the bow for. If you're tracking through the bush and you're looking for a lightweight bow, this is what you're looking for, okay? But if you're looking for more accuracy, well then maybe you're looking for a heavier bow and maybe you're looking for a bigger brace sight, right? Let's see how I go. The last arrow went high in the 9, I then moved my sight up and now we're ready to shoot. There is no vibration with this bow. When you shoot it feels amazing. I'm happy with the draw cycle, I really like the draw cycle. I do notice the shorter axle because the string angle feels more acute than a longer bow. But the bow feels great, the grip feels good. I don't feel I'll shoot it as well as a 7-inch brace sight, but let's see how it goes. Now I should say I've got no peep sight, I've just got a D-loop, I've got a whisker biscuit, and the sight I'm using is a CBE sight because it's adjustable up the side to make my life a little bit easier. But it's basically a 3-pin sight. I don't think these are that expensive, I think it's CBE Engage. But the bow feels fantastic. So if I was looking for a bow to go walk around the bush, to hunt animals, this would be cool because it's lightweight, you can put it in a backpack, it's going to be nice and quiet to shoot. It's not going to get hot or cold. I think you'll shoot it fine. And the distance I would hunt would be under 30 metres, and for me, I think I'll shoot this bow perfectly fine at that distance. Now I can see a little bit of this, the twitchy stuff. Stabilizer will get rid of that, but then if you add a stabilizer, you're adding weight, all right? So, but the bow's pretty quick. I'm not sure I'd want a faster bow, to be honest, because just the draw cycle This is not hurting my shoulders at all. It's comfortable, and a faster bow, I would struggle more to pull back. Now PSE does produce, well, I assume they still produce the knock-on bow. I don't know if they still do or not, because obviously John's left PSE and gone to Matthews. Hoyt, whoever paid the most. You know it's true, so you might as well call it right. And there's nothing wrong with getting paid more money, right? But just cooler. I got paid more money to shoot Hoyt. I got paid more money to shoot PSE. Cool. Well, PSE didn't think you were worth whatever they were paying you. It is what it is, right? And it's okay. It's business. I can tell you how much PSE pays for me to shoot PSE. I can tell you how many bows I sold of PSE over the years. 2,000 bows a year for 20 odd years. So I figure that's more than John, and I got paid zero. So no free bows, no nothing. I don't think I got a free bow. And I feel like I probably did get a free bow, but they never told me I was getting a free bow. So I may have got a free bow at some stage. I don't know if I did or not. I feel like at one stage I got a blue Supro, but I didn't know if I paid for it or not, because when I get the invoices it's all a bit hard to work out. But I may have got a blue Supra, because I got a blue Supra at the same time as Stefan Hansen did. And I did a review on it back then, so that may have been free. But I don't know. Because they never said we're giving you a free bow. No one's ever said we're giving you something for free. I would say some of my staff got bows at half price. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I did. I didn't. I was like, why do you guys get the bows at half price and I don't? And they're like, you didn't ask. And I was like, okay, fair enough. And one of my friends in America who used to shoot, anyway, he's now shooting an Elite. And Elite gave him 2 bows. I'm like, how many Elites do you sell to be given 2 bows? And they give me nothing. They didn't even give me a discount. The Elite bow I shoot is a second-hand one, which someone traded into my store. America versus Australia, right? Enough of me crapping on. So one of the local archers here shoots one of these bows with a bow quiver, and he says, it's really nice because I can't feel the bow quiver on it. And I was like, oh, you bought it because it's got a bow quiver. Anyway, he likes Matthews. And he said, I would shoot Matthews, but I shoot better with PSE. Because he's brought Matthews, but he shoots PSE because he shoots higher scores with it. Like, substantially. I don't know why, but there's a big difference in the scores he shoots. I'll shoot one more. I can't see where my arrows are down the other end. I've got a camera on, so you'll be able to see, but I can see some are high. Once I did a review on a PSE shoot down, I shot terrible, and I still published the video. And I feel like I shoot better today than I used to in my first videos. But however I shoot, I still publish the video. I don't like sit here and shoot, wait for a good video to come out, right? Wait for a good end. I just shoot it, and this is real life. First arrows I've shot. this is what happens. Sometimes the bows fall apart when I'm shooting. I still film it because I think that's the fair thing to do. Right, let's go down and check the arrows. Well, I obviously don't reshoot my shots, but it's a pretty good group. Left and right, there's hardly any variation at all, which is kind of interesting for me because it's the 6-inch brace height. I was expecting there to be some left and right movement, but the arrows are all in a straight line, which is really, it's a very good group. Up and down, I've got a little bit of variation. I can almost get my fingers around the group. So obviously my sights are a little bit low, so the sight needs to be moved up a bit. But it's a pretty tight group. It's pretty good because I could see my sight pin moving around a bit, and I can say that shooting indoors versus outdoors, my sight picture is not as good as at home with natural lighting. Okay, it's very substantial for me. When I look down here, all I see is a blur, and I'm putting the sight pin on a blur. But look, it's pretty good. That's better than I'd expect. So, and for me, if I was to shoot this bow at 30 meters, I'd be able to hit a tennis ball based on. So I'd be pretty confident to hunt with this bow at like 30 meters, even going probably back to 40 meters. I wouldn't feel so confident at the longer distances, like 50, 60. So I wouldn't be shooting the bow the way it is at the longer distances. If I was shooting longer distances, then I'd get a peep. And then I'd probably be looking at stabilizers, but it'd be more close distance for me with this bow. Right, so some points about this. I really like the PSE 2-piece quiver. I would prefer the PSE 2-piece quiver to be in camo as well, to match the camos. Because if you're going to get this, then you get the green quiver, which is quite good. Look, I don't mind the tunability on the PSE. I'm going to say it's probably not as good as Elite or Bowtech. However, in the past, PSE has had the individual limb adjustments on the Mach 8, which PSE have the patent to. They should do that, because that would be superior to Bowtech and Elite, but they don't. Right? So PSE own that patent, they just choose not to do it. Right? So I'm going to say, if PSE had individual limb adjustments through 4 screws, so 2 screws top and bottom for adjusting poundage, which they did do in the past, it would be superior bow tuning to every other bow company and simple to do at no cost. Right? I would like limb locking, but this is excellent. This is a good system. The strings are good. The bow is light, so it's very, very good. The grip is better than the other carbon bows in the past. So what makes this bow better than the other carbon bows? It's lighter. That's why this bow is better than the other carbon bows on the market. It's just lighter, and that's why you want this bow, because it's lighter. There is no other reason why you want this bow. It's the pure weight. That's why you choose this bow. It's got a good draw cycle. I would not choose the knock-on version of this bow with the bigger cams. I would choose these cams because the draw cycle is significantly better. That's my own personal view, and you might like the aggressive draw cycle and the extra speed you get with the bigger cams, but I like this. I like the bow, I like the way it looks. Some of my staff think this is the best looking carbon bow on the market. The vibration is excellent. Now, for this video, one of my staff set this up, one of the students, he made a mistake. I'm going to show you what it is. There's a Piccadilly mount on the front here. If you're fitting a normal sight to this bow, take the Piccadilly mount off because it angles the sight out. So there's the Piccadilly mount, so it's angled the sight out. That's it. Look, the Piccadilly thing's fine. It's just, I think I'm going to say Bowtech, Elite's got a different system here for their Picatinny mount. And you can fit your normal sight on without taking it off. So like the PSE system's okay, but you've got to take it off if you're fitting a standard sight. And then, if you take it off, you're probably going to lose it. Okay, so the Elite have got a new system on here, so it can stay on when you fit a normal sight. I think that's good. Look, overall, the bow's the right price because it is comparable to the other carbon bows. It's not that when I say it's not a standout, it is a standout as far as weight. It doesn't compare to the other bows on the market. But the cable guard system is an improvement on the carbon bows of before. This is an improvement on the carbon bows of the past. So if I had one of the old PSE carbon bows, the grip is narrow on this. I definitely prefer this grip versus the PSE carbon bows in the past. So if I had a PSE carbon bow in the past, I would upgrade to this, no question. Because I think this is better, I think this is better. But overall, I think it's a good bow. The price point is right. It's in the exact spot where it needs to be. It can't be any more, really. Can always be cheaper, but it's in the right price point. It's comparable to the other bows at the price point, and you could argue it's superior. Now, I'm going to talk about PSE a little bit. Their warranty service is excellent. It's the best in the business. To get these bows, they're shipping pretty quick. I'm going to say of the carbon bows on the market, all the ones, Bowtech, Elite and Hoyt, this for me outsells all the rest 4-to-1. That sort of ratio, right? And people are buying it because it's lightweight. That's why they buy it. I think there's a whole bunch of hunters who hunt with it. And if I just wanted a hunting bow, where I'm walking around the bush, this would be right at the top of my list because of the weight. So yeah, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and remember, the more you shoot, the better you'll shoot. Thanks for watching. Bye.